Hi, this is Mike Regan with TranzAct's 2-minute warning for the week of September 12th. We're here to look at the second step in building a great transportation budget. I know there are some of you out there that when you hear the words, "we need your transportation budget," view that as an exercise in doing a necessary evil. But there are those of you who have used the budgeting process to effect improvement in your transportation operations and lower your transportation costs. Now, we've talked with these people and asked them, how do you build a great budget? And that's what we're sharing with you on these 2-minute warnings. The first thing we talked about last week was that building a great budget begins with asking the question, what do we think the economy is going to be doing in the next year? And the reason that's so important this year is because as we go into 2017, the economy is going to have a huge impact on whether we see a buyer or seller's market in the interaction between carriers and shippers. Now, the second question that people need to ask if they want to use the budgeting as a positive experience is, what are we willing to change as a company in order to manage and lower our transportation costs? Now, in this regard, I'd like to share a couple of stories with you. After last week's 2-minute warning, I was talking with one of our partners, John DeBeal, and he said to me, Mike, there are numerous things a company can do to lower their transportation costs if they're willing to take a look at how their sales and procurement practices impact freight and transportation. Without even thinking, he rattled off 10 things that a company can do. And I was amazed, and I said, John, we need to share this information with people so they get an indication of why it's so important to be considering change. Now, for those of you that are saying, why should my company change? Well, let me share one final story with you. A couple of years ago, a good friend of mine, Peter, was the vice president of transportation for this large company, and he had responsibility for a transportation budget of a couple of $100 million. Well, his boss came down to him and said, Peter, I need your transportation budget, and you need to bring me in a 4% reduction in overall cost. Peter stepped up and said, I accept that challenge because we know there are things we could do differently that could be positive for this company and how it spends its transportation dollars. Well, unfortunately, Peter's boss said, Peter, we're not going to change a thing. Now, Peter was smart enough to realize that when you hear those words, it's an adventure in fantasy land. It's not possible or realistic to simply go back to your carriers each and every year and demand lower rates. And that's why building great budgets start with the questions about what we're willing to change to do things different that can result in lower cost. Now, we have a wealth of information that we'd love to share with you about how you can build a great transportation budget. If you'd like to talk to John about the numerous things that he identified about how you can lower your cost, we'd love to have him give you a call. Because with each and every 2-minute warning, we're here to remind you, we're on your team, we're here to help, and we are passionate about seeing you be successful. Thanks for your time.